I still remember my first breakout. I was 15, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, I spotted these tiny red bumps across my forehead. Now at the time, I actually got really excited because I felt like acne was this sign of maturity. I was getting older, but then the next week, more bumps in all these other places, my cheeks, my temples, and they weren't going away. I started to freak out. I started to scrub my face so hard that it turned bright red. St. Ives apricot scrub, anybody? Very quickly, the coolness went away, and then I was just plain scared. I was trying to cover up my sister's makeup, got caught, that made everything way worse, and then I just started canceling plans with my friends because I felt so self-conscious. If you're watching this video, then the chances are you are feeling the exact same way I felt back then. That mix of confusion, that worry, that feeling of looking in the mirror and then not even recognizing your own skin, I get it. And that is exactly why I decided to make this video today. I want to give you the guidance I wish I had back then, because the truth is, there are some simple yet very effective steps that you can take right now that can make a huge difference for you. All right, first things first, do not panic. What's this on my face? Get the scrubs! Yeah, don't do that. Why? Because acne is common, like ridiculously common. About 85% of teenagers get acne at some point. That's not just a few kids in your class, that is just about everyone. And it doesn't just magically stop after high school. Around 50% of adults between 20 to 40 years old also deal with acne. For adults, acne can happen for a whole bunch of additional reasons. Stress, hormones, using certain products, even just your family genetics. Most of the time, it's a mix of a few different factors. But the point is, having acne doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. You should never feel guilty, because having acne doesn't mean you're dirty or you're eating too much chocolate. That's a myth that I'll debunk later. It's just a normal skin condition that most people deal with at some point. Even celebrities and models will get breakouts. They just have professional makeup artists and photo editing to hide it. Now, if you have been struggling with persistent breakouts and you want to do a more structured approach, that is why I created the acnemethod.com program, which is specifically for this reason. It'll help you get rid of your acne by targeting it at the source instead of just masking the symptoms. So if you want to regain control of your skin, definitely go check out my program. Now, the good news is that acne is absolutely treatable, but to treat it effectively, you need to understand what's actually happening in your skin. So let's think of your skin as a busy city. The pores are like thousands of tiny roads, and each road has an oil factory connected to it. These factories produce sebum, which is just a fancy way for saying your skin's natural oil, and this normally helps to protect your skin and keep your skin soft, like how a light rain can keep a city clean. Right? Now, during puberty, your hormones go into overdrive. They tell those oil glands to produce way more sebum than usual. So it'd be like if the city had a flood that was causing crashes and traffic over all the roads. While this is happening, at the same time, your skin is constantly shedding dead skin cells. Now, on a regular day, these just wash away, but with all this excess oil, they stick together, they clump, and then they clog up your pores. Once your pore gets clogged, the bacteria that's naturally living on your skin, which is called P. acnes bacterium, can get trapped inside too. Your body notices this and it sends white blood cells to fight the bacteria, which causes inflammation. So that is why pimples sometimes get really red, get really swollen, and get really painful. So now that you understand what's happening with your skin, let's talk about what you can actually do about it. So step one, start by assessing what might be triggering your acne. Take a few minutes and write down any recent changes in your life. Maybe you switched laundry detergents. It could be something as small as that. Or maybe you started using a new hair product. Or maybe you had a big change in your diet. Or maybe it's something that's a little bit less direct than that, like being super stressed for midterms that are coming up or getting less sleep than usual. Sometimes the smallest changes you overlook because they don't seem very important, but they can actually have a huge impact on your skin. Now, tracking your actual breakouts can be surprisingly helpful too. So what I mean by this is you can snap a quick photo of your skin every few days in the same lighting. That's very important. And this can make it a lot easier to see patterns over time. So you might notice that your breakouts get worse before your period, or after having drinks on the weekend, or after spending time with your partner who happens to be touching your face a lot. And also, if you're getting acne on the body, it can be the normal suspects, like hormonal changes or sweat from exercise and not showering fast enough, but it can also be something something called acne mechanica. This comes from the friction of something rubbing against your skin. So a bra strap or a backpack strap or a heavy jacket even. So noticing all of this is useful to help you identify the trigger. All right, step 2 is to start a basic skincare routine. If you don't already have one, now is the time. So wash your face once, maybe twice a day, but use a gentle cleanser. You don't need anything that's harsh or abrasive because it might actually surprise you that overwashing and over cleansing can actually make your acne worse, not better. And then after cleansing, apply a lightweight, non-comedogenic or non-pore clogging moisturizer. Yes, even if your skin is oily. I know this seems very counterintuitive, but properly moisturized skin actually produces less excess oil. Plus, a lot of acne treatments can be very drying, so maintaining your skin's moisture barrier is crucial. Now, speaking of treatments, you might have heard of, or you might want to try a gentle product either with salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide. Now, salicylic acid is great for blackheads and whiteheads because it helps to unclog pores, while benzoyl peroxide targets the bacteria that causes inflammatory acne. There's a whole bunch more to it than just that, so if you want to, I made an in-depth video comparing when to use salicylic versus benzoyl peroxide that I'll link below. But either way, here's the catch. You want to start with just one active ingredient, not both, because using too many treatments at once can definitely irritate your skin and can cause things to get much worse. Now we're on to step 3, and this is the most important one. Keep your hands off your face. I know how tempting it is to pick and to pop. Trust me, I've been there. I've fallen victim to it. Oh yes, I have definitely popped, and it never made anything better. Popping pimples is always going to spread bacteria, and it will 100% increase your inflammation. This can lead to a lot more scarring that lasts much longer than the original pimple would have, and that pimple can swell up to 2 or 3 times the size and stick around for 2 or 3 times as long. If you're really struggling with the urge to pick, try covering the spot with a hydrocolloid patch. They not only prevent picking, but they also help to draw out some of the fluid from the pimples if they're ready. Now, remember that consistency matters way more than complexity. So a simple routine that you can maintain every day, that again, you can stick to, is going to give you better results than an elaborate routine that you can only manage every once in a while and then you fall off for weeks. Your skin needs time to adjust to new products and to heal. So give any approach that you take at least 4, 5, 6 weeks before you decide whether it's working or not. And if your breakouts become more frequent or painful or persistent despite your best efforts, don't hesitate to talk to a dermatologist. Getting professional advice can save you months of frustration and potential scarring. Now, if you want to know how Michaela went from this to this right before her wedding, check out this video right here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.